Welcome back once again. I'm Bio, and today we're looking at LEGO Racers, or more specifically, portable adaptations of LEGO Racers game. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, LEGO Racers holds a very special place in my heart. It's one of those games I have a lot of nostalgia for. Now, specifically the original LEGO Racers on the PlayStation 1, but I have a lot of nostalgia for the game. A lot of nostalgia for the game. So I thought to myself, hey, what about the portable adaptations? Because I knew that there was a Game Boy Advance version of LEGO Racers 2, so I was like, oh, I was curious. I'll just have a look to see if there's any more. And lo and behold, there was a Game Boy Color version of the original, and there was a Game Boy Advance version of another game that I didn't even know existed. Didn't even know existed. So today we're going to be having a look at the 3 portable adaptations of the LEGO Racers series, as well as a bonus game at the end, once we're all said and done. So let's dive right in. So first up we have LEGO Racers for the Game Boy Color. And what I can say about this game is that the character creation is very basic, the kart creation is very basic, but then again it's the Game Boy Color. So I didn't really have high expectations of the kart builder, the kart creator that you had in the original LEGO Racers, which I thought was very innovative for the time as it is. You know, back in the day on the old PlayStation 1, being able to create your own racer and car was really, really, really big. Now, for this game itself, it plays really well actually for a Game Boy Color racing game. It's pretty atypical for a Game Boy Color racing game as well though. So as you can see, it kind of has that same kind of vibe that pretty much most, if not all, racing games on the Game Boy Color probably look like. You know, where you got a view just behind the character, and you have it's like you're on like this little, like, I don't know, belt that's going around, and the course is just loading as you're going. You know, I don't know how to really explain it very well, but yeah, so I created my purple train and went straight into the races, and yeah, the controls are pretty well. The controls are really responsive. I could see myself back on the original Game Boy Color not having an issue with the controls on this game, because that's tends to be one of the things that tends to flag up first of all is the controls for these games. But yeah, the controls are pretty good. The turning's pretty nice. I don't feel like any of the turns are so tight that they're easily missable, which is another thing. You can't see really far ahead, so you could easily just miss a turn, but none of the turns are so tight which to cause any issue. You also have the bricks in this game, but the bricks are very limited. You've only got I think 2 versions of each power-up. So you've got the green brick, which gives you boost. You got the blue brick, which I believe is I think it either drops something or puts a shield around you, one of the two, kind of like a invincibility kind of thing. And then the red one shoots like a bowling ball at an enemy. And if you collect a white brick, it will power up that said other power-up, which is, again, similar to the original game on the PlayStation 1. So, yeah, all in all, this game is not too bad for what it is, you know, a Game Boy Color racing game. You can't go into this with extremely high expectations, but I was surprised anyway. I was like, well, this is pretty functional, it works pretty well, and I could see myself having some fun with this, you know, back when I had my Game Boy Color, when I was playing my Game Boy Color. It's too bad I didn't have a game like this, because I would have enjoyed a portable version of LEGO Racers. Even if it was like this, I still would have enjoyed it. So yeah, not too bad for a Game Boy Color racing game. Next up we have LEGO Racers 2 for the Game Boy Advance, and I have to say first of all that they've improved on the character creation mode a fair bit, you know, but realistically it just kind of looks a bit better. But I feel like you got a lot more options to pick from. You can pick like different things quite a fair bit. So yeah, I think they improved quite a fair bit on the character creator. On the other hand though, it didn't really give me an option to design my kart. Now, I'm not familiar with LEGO Racers 2 because I only played it, I think, once around a friend's house on the PlayStation, and I played the PlayStation 2 version. So, and if I remember correctly, I don't think I had the same kind of passion and that I had for the original when I played it. Again, it's a long time ago. I should have really probably given it another go in me doing this video. Maybe I'll do it as a random game on my second Bio in the Shadow Realm channel at some point. Who knows? But the one thing I don't like about this game is this whole minimap thing where you kind of it's kind of got this adventure kind of game feel to it, where you got to go to these little squares and talk to people and that. And I was wandering around for a little while trying to figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go, who the hell I'm supposed to talk to, because I'll be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to the text. But once I found out who I was supposed to talk to, then we finally got into the races. But I just kind of feel like it's kind of unnecessary, where you could have literally just had be like a Grand Prix or something, like a cup-based thing, like you would have in a normal kart kind of racing game, but whatever. The controls themselves are a little bit floaty for my liking. I found the controls in the Game Boy Color version much more enjoyable and much more better. I don't know how to fucking describe it, but I found the controls in the Game Boy Color version much more responsive and better. I have a real big issue with floaty controls with racing games. I fucking hate it. Some people prefer the floaty control system. I don't really. I don't like it. As you can see just then, I went off of the track for a second there. It's because the turning's not particularly good. You'll turn, and you've got to really turn very soon in order to make the turn. Because if you turn too late, then the cart will just go outside of the track. Like, look at that. Look, so big on the turns. It's crazy. Like, you turn and you'll turn so wide, it makes no sense. It's like your cart doesn't have any kind of like turning, and you're just like leaning to the side of your cart to try and get it around the corner. It's just, yeah, strange. Power-ups are back, and they're pretty much the same as the previous game, really. You know, with a slight iteration, but it's similar in the sense of that you still gotta get a white brick to power it up. So, yeah. It's okay, I guess. But if I be honest, I didn't really like this one as much as I did with the Game Boy Color game. So, and that's just me, I guess. But it's okay, don't get me wrong. And finally, here is Drome Racers, a game I didn't even know existed when I looked into this, because I never saw it. I never saw it when I was a kid, and in all fairness, I would have never associated this with LEGO Racers, but apparently it is a part of the LEGO Racers series. So it has racers in the title, so it must be right? So the Game Boy Advance version of this game seems to have that weird graphical style that was in the Game Boy Advance version of I think it wasn't it Project 8? I think, yeah, if I remember correctly, like Project 8 had a Game Boy Advance version. Well, one of those games. Oh no, it was Downhill Jam. That's what it was. So you remember when, like, you may not be, but I played Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, and it had a very similar graphical style to this. And I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like a early Unity engine game. That's what it looks like. It looks like someone's like just put some isometric shapes everywhere and just gone, yeah, that'll do that. You know, that looks pretty good to me. So let's talk about this game as a, with the racing and that. So you have these drag races, as you can see me doing here. I don't really understand why these drag races are in the game. They literally just exist to allow you to go in a certain place in the race. So instead of starting in the back, you start in the front when you go to, start a race. It's kind of silly, really. And then you have the races themselves, which the cart looks pretty good. The little car thing looks pretty cool and that, but like I said, the tracks have a weird kind of look to them. I think it works better for a racing game than it does for a skateboarding game, don't get me wrong. But it still has a little bit strange to it. And this game does have power-ups, but they're not really... You don't really use them much. Like, you can get a power-up, here you go, here's one, and you use it, and then most of them are kind of like, most of the power-ups you get are projectile-based, and I very easily got in first place a lot, because you've got these little arrow things, right, on the course, and if you collect one of them, it's a boost, and if you go through the golden arrow, it boosts you for a really long time. Like, if you go through, like here, if I just boost through, as long as I don't hit anything, the boost lasts for ages. So quite easy to get in first place in this game. The controls feel pretty good. They're pretty standard. I don't know. They feel about as good as the Game Boy Color game. At least they're not floaty. One thing I hate about racing games is having floaty controls. That don't work. Don't get me wrong. Floaty controls can work, but it all depends. I'd rather just go for a more kind of like perfect handling style. But then that doesn't really work. It depends. It fucking depends from racing game to racing game. But yeah, Drome Racers is not too bad. You know, I probably wouldn't have played it on the Game Boy Advance. I wouldn't really spent much time with it, but it's an okay racing game now. So yeah, I know you might probably think, oh, you haven't really said much about each of these games, but I haven't really got much to say. Some games I've got loads to say about, and then just some games I don't. Lego Racers for the Game Boy Color was okay. Lego Racers 2 for the Game Boy Advance, don't like the floaty controls. Drome Racers for the Game Boy Advance plays it just as well as the Lego Racers on the Game Boy Color, but I don't really like the level design, and the drag races are kind of unnecessary. They don't really add anything to the game. That's pretty much it. So there we go. That's all of the Lego Racers portable games. All 3 of them. Yeah, I know, like I said previously, I didn't really have much to say about each of them, but I didn't have much of a reaction to each of them, let's just say that. But as a whole, they're not too bad. They're not the worst racing games I've played, don't get me wrong. There's much worse racing games. Yeah, it was just kind of okay in general, really. Now, before I end this video, I did say I had a bonus game at the end that I wanted to have a look into, and we'll get to that. But I would like to also say that please like, subscribe, and comment. If you liked the video, just let me know what you liked about it, what you didn't like, whatever. I don't, you know, whatever. I've been Bio. Thanks for watching, and let's dive into this bonus game before we end. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay? See ya. I wonder what game the bonus game is going to be, right? So yeah, I again have mentioned that I did not know this game existed, and that's Drome Racers. So I thought, why not have a look at the GameCube version of the game? Because again, I've never played this game and I didn't even know it existed. So I thought I'd give the GameCube version a go as a bonus game for this video. And yeah, I was really surprised because the racing controls are really interesting. Let me just put it that way. So there are physics in this game, and you can slide out. The controls are actually pretty on point for what they're... I don't know what they were trying to go for, in all fairness, but the controls are pretty on point. They're very, very responsive, but at the same time, if somebody could literally drive up next to you and then just clip your wheels, and you could go spinning out of control. So it has a kind of realistic feel to it, I guess. I don't know, but I kind of regret not getting this game when I was a kid, because I actually really, really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It's like there, look, you see, it's kind of nasty to think that in a racing game you could just go up and just spin someone out who's in first place, and now they're bugging and have to catch up. But I like that in the game. I like that kind of concept. So just like in the previous games, you've got power-ups. You go into these orbs and you have the similar kind of power-ups in the old games. Each of the power-ups are color coordinated, so each, you know, and it's the same color coordination as the previous games. So, but I just really like the racing physics in this game. I really do like the level design. The level design is really cool. Like, you go into this like mechanical worm at some point in one of the stages, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, boost pads everywhere. Yeah, it just feels really good as a racing game to play. Just feels really, really good. I was really surprised. I was going into this thinking that, oh, it's just going to be kind of a mediocre racing game, but it's actually a little bit more than that. And it looks really, really good on the old Dolphin emulator. So really nice. The textures hold up really, really well and look really crisp in, you know, 60 frames, real like, you know, untextured and all that. Whatever. I don't know what I'm on about. Just looks nice. Looks nice on the emulator. I don't know what else to say besides that. But yeah, Drome Racers, I was surprised. It actually plays really, really nicely, really, really well, and I'd recommend anybody who's into racing games to give it a go.